Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be taking a look at this knife right here. This is the Hen and Rooster 232 BLPB, and I'm guessing that BLPB stands for blue picked bone, which is I'm guessing designating what type of bone cover this is. But before I go any further, I would like to thank North Star Knife Reviews for letting me take a look at this knife, because this was one of the knives that was included in that traveling box of knives that I sent out. So yeah, thank you to North Star Knife Reviews for letting me take a look at this knife. And first off, let's take a look at that bone there. It's just a gorgeous blue color. We even have a little bit of yellow or kind of white showing through there and on the ends. And then we get the dark blue in the middle with that really cool jigging. Kind of looks like a worn, pocket worn jigging. Then we got a really, really dark blue on this side, barely any white showing through. Just a gorgeous, gorgeous blue color. And this pattern is a Copperhead, because we have this bolster right here that kind of comes out and looks a little bit like a snake's head, which is where the knife gets its name from. And then right here on the back, we have a clip point blade with a long pole on it right there. And that is just a gorgeous clip point blade right there. No swedging on it, but still a really nice blade. And then we have right there on the, if I can get it to focus, German stainless, handmade. And then it's kind of hard to see with the way the bolster is, but that's the grab the box here, 232 under the bolster there. It's kind of hard to make it out because of the way the bolster is. I can't really tell. There's something else underneath there too. I don't know if I can get it to show up. Yeah, there's that clip point blade again on the knife there. Then on the front here, we have kind of a skinning blade, is what I would call this. A really long, it is kind of a clip point because it does kind of start off to kind of clip right there. But it's what I would call a skinning blade. Looks like we have a bit of a swedge on the front there that looks really nice. If I can get it to focus. See a little bit of a swedge on the front there. No swedge on the back, just on the front. But that's just a really nice looking blade, and both of these blades have full flat grinds and mirror polished finishes on them, which are kind of prone to scratching, as you can see from getting used and stuff. There's some scratches on the blade, but still a really nice finish. And we have that same, the German stainless made, handmade 282, and then BLPB for the blue picked bone. So yeah, that's both the blades on there. And oh, and I actually forgot, on this side right here we have the Hen and Rooster. So that's a little, looks like an etching, but it's the tang stamp right there. Bertram Cutlery, Germany. And we have the two, I think it looks like we got two chickens right there. There's one a rooster and one is a hen, maybe? Not too familiar with chickens, but yeah, just really cool. Then we also have the Hen and Rooster shield right there. Not sure what the shield is made out of. Let's see. Alright, I did a quick search, and the shield right there is it is a brass shield. I couldn't figure out what the pins are made out of. To me, they look like brass, but they could be nickel silver. I'm not sure. Sometimes nickel silver does have that kind of brashness. Brashness? I don't know if that's a word. But it kind of has that brass look to it. So I'm not sure if those pins are nickel silver or brass. But the bolsters are nickel silver. I know that for sure. And we do have these fluted bolsters on both ends, which is really nice. Then we have the stainless steel back springs on the back there with brass liners, and then the mirror polish on those back springs as well. Very, very nice. So yeah, and then no half stops on these any of these blades, just a full pull like that. And I forgot to show you, the nail nick on here is just a normal nail nick where we have a long pull on the clip point, which is interesting how they chose to give that some variety. Let's take a look at the back here. hardly any gapping on this knife. And then just maybe a little bit right there near the top. Let me look at it through the light. Yeah, I can see some light coming through right up here and a little bit coming down there, but not too bad. Let's also take a look at those transitions. I really can't feel anything. Maybe a slight bit right there on the corner. I can maybe catch my nail on a little bit of a transition. The transitions feel very smooth. And the pins, they're in jigging, so they're not going to be the smoothest. I can kind of feel them popping up, but I think that it might be due to the fact that of the jigging. Let's feel yeah, I can feel a little bit of a transition there, but not too bad. And maybe a little bit of transition on the corner there. The shield looks like it's set in pretty good, maybe a little bit proud, or maybe a little bit indented on the bone there near the top. But overall fit and finish on the bone looks pretty good. Yeah, we got that little bit of white sticking out there. I think that's pretty neat. So yeah, overall really good fit and finish on this knife. Let's take a look at so it looks like that clip point blade is pretty much almost down the center, maybe favoring this side a little bit, but that other blade is kind of favoring this side, kind of goes off a little bit more. So the blade centering probably could have been better on that, but that clip point blade is looking pretty good. Let's just kind of see any blade play. Nope, no blade play. Let's take a look at any blade play there. That's something I need to do better and try to remember to check for that in more knives. But yeah, I think don't really have much else to take a look on this knife. I will say during the when I first handled this knife, I got a little bit, and maybe you can see a little bit of the dye seems to come off on this bone. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I've got a little bit of blue on my hands from handling this knife. So let's pull out both of those blades so you can kind of take a look at that knife like that. But yeah, it looks like the bone dye is bleeding onto my hands, so that's not good. I finished filming the video, then I realized I forgot to do the measurements of the knife, so we're just going to do that right here, and then I'll throw it somewhere in the video in the editing process. I'm going to try to do this, because this is kind of tricky to measure this, because it has this kind of swoop down. But when I measured this, it came in roughly around, I'll try it this way, it came in roughly around 3 3/4 inches in length is what I am seeing for the measurements on that. And then for the clip point blade here, for an overall length, we have just shy of 2 3/4 inches in length. And then for overall cutting length, just shy of 2.5 inches for the cutting length on that. And then for the Skinner blade, we have 2 3/4 inches in length, maybe just a little bit shy of that. And we have about just above, no, actually it's about 2.5 inches for the cutting length on that Skinner blade. So I'll just throw this somewhere in the video. But still, it's a really, really cool knife, and I'll give you a look at the box really quick here. Here's the box. It has Rooster, World's Finest, 1845, made in Germany. Then we have the 232 BLPB for blue picked bone, and that's the same thing on that side, nothing on the bottom. And then on the inside here, we have the tissue paper with the Hen & Rooster logo on it, right there. And then, is that Ford's, or, there we go, Bertram Soligen Cutlery. So yeah, there's the box, just a plain silver box. I don't know, I haven't been able to find this knife available anywhere except maybe on the secondary market. Like I don't know if any knife retailers are handling or have this knife in stock or anything. I haven't found it anywhere. And I'm not as familiar with Hen & Rooster knives, so I can't really tell you too much else about it, other than it is a really cool Copperhead knife. And I really enjoyed carrying it. But yeah, let me give you one kind of quick look at the knife again. Give you a close-up of it. Right there. There's that clip point blade. I just love the look of that clip point blade. That's probably my favorite clip point shape. Just gorgeous blue bone. Yeah, just a really neat knife, and I thank you again to North Star Knife Reviews for letting me check out this neat knife. But I think that's going to do it for now. That's all I have to say about this knife. Thank you all for watching. Keep your pens filled and your knife sharp, and I'll see you later.